Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, this is the makeup look for today. I am feeling savage, like unload, reload 1,000, however you want to, period, like, period. Period. You can't tell me nothing. Then I even, look, I got the restaurant chopsticks in my head and still feel like you can't tell me nothing. And don't judge me for my nails, okay? Because if you heifers wouldn't go and get all the kiss kits, I wouldn't be waiting 3 years for my actual shipment of acrylic and my monomer and my polymer to come in. I'd have fixed my nails already, okay? Y'all heifers buying up all the kits. I can't fix my nails. It takes 20 years, you know, in order for me to have my stuff shipped to me because of what's going on. And I'm trying to, you know, have my fingers looking right. Can't do that because y'all buying up all the kits anyway. Let's get back into this makeup look. Girl, y'all can't, girl, when I tell you I feel like I'm there. Do you see it? Can I come closer? Could you? Do you see the savage, that slant line? Do you see? Girl, do you see it? Like something simple like this. This is a simple look. I do looks like this all the time and don't film it. I really don't, because I'm like, they got so many videos like that, but then I decided to like do a negative space with it today, and I'm like, I sell myself short on some stuff. I'm gonna stop doing it this year though, promise you that. Y'all gonna get all of it. Anyway, if you want to see how I achieve this look, stay tuned and we go get right into it. Okay, loves, we're gonna jump right into it. Okay, I'm starting off with a little primer water by Mario Basque. Gonna have the face moisturized before we put anything else on. Fan the face just a little bit in order for the face to get tacky. And you know me, when I start a look, I like to go with brows first. So that's exactly what we're gonna start with. Take our spoolie, make sure the hairs are going in the same direction, and then I like to trace underneath, give myself a very defined shape, and then go back and fill in my brows. Now, of course, you can use any brow pencil that you have on hand. Me, I particularly had this one. It's just a regular Jordana brow pencil, but of course, if you have one like Anastasia Beverly Hills, Benefit, Elf, whatever you have on hand, whatever you prefer, of course I'm recommending you to go for that. And it's just to give my brows a little bit more of a defined shape. I know some girls don't like to fill in their brows, they like more of a natural route, but as you can see, mine are kind of arched. I had to trim the ends a little bit. They was getting a little wild. I couldn't get to my girl to wax them, so we had to do what we had to do in order to get what we had to get. Making sure that the brows are in place, and yes, even me, I have bad brow days. This particular look was one of them, but of course we know we go in with a little concealer, a little brush, a little time, and we fix all of that together. Right now I'm just taking the spoolie, making sure that the product is evenly dispersed throughout the brow, going in and filling the gaps wherever I have a little bit of a gap at, just to make sure that everything is even and more uniform. Taking the spoolie and spreading it out again, and then after that, you know, we go back in with a little concealer and my favorite brush, that is the LA Girl Pro concealer in medium beige. Taking my favorite concealer brush and going in and cleaning up my brows just to make sure that everything is up to par for my liking. going in with our favorite concealer and our favorite concealer brush, going in and clean underneath the brows using small strokes, and whatever is left on the brush, I'm going to take that and put that all over the lid and then follow that up with a dampened beauty blender. It's not technically a beauty blender, but it's a beauty sponge, and making sure that everything is evenly dispersed all over the eye for a nice even coat of concealer. We're going to use that as a eyeshadow base to put down our eyeshadow to achieve the look of the day. Next, going in with some tape, putting it in a desired angle. What I do see, me looking back on this, I wish I would have kind of slanted it a little bit more inward just to give it a more dramatic look, but of course you live and you learn. What about this tape? You have to adjust it just a few times just to make sure that everything's okay, but I mean, it ended up working. Now what I'm doing, I'm taking a little bit of a orange shadow from the Beige Cosmetics 120 palette, the second edition, and I'm just spreading that all over, making sure that we have a nice foundation to build upon. We're going to take a few shades of orange in order to get the achieved look of what I want. I want something that's a little bit gradient, and I'm going to be using a loose pigment. Now, for those of you who use loose pigments, know that loose pigments can be a little bit patchy, so that's why we're taking the time to kind of build up the color a bit with a few other shadows. So when we put the loose pigment on top, we have a gradient effect where you can't tell, well, one shadow was placed here or the other one was placed there. It all kind of blend in and work together. And at this moment, I knew I had it. Like, yes, everything I wanted in that look happened in that moment. Me looking back on this, I wish I would have made a eyeshadow cream base first versus using a whole bunch of different eyeshadows, because it would have popped that much more had I did a orange base first. Like taking a little bit of concealer, mixing it with an eyeshadow, and then putting it down on top of what we already did, it would have made it pop that much more. But I'm in love with what I have. Going back in with the crayon case in that orange shade, I'm just taking it and putting it in my inner third, or by my inner tear duct, and along the top by the brow area, just to make it fade out, to give it more of a gradient effect. It's so pretty, y'all. I'm not even having foundation or anything else on my face. I'm in love with what I have thus far, and that's just the eyeshadow. Now mind you, this is something simple, something I do quite often, but this is my first time kind of filming it, so I guess that's why it just came out so perfect that day. Not even mad at it. Taking the concealer brush that we used from earlier, whatever's left on the brush, I'm just taking it and cleaning up the slant that we have. And also, if you have noticed the trend that's going on now with butterflies, I honestly feel like you could definitely build upon that. The way the slants are, you could definitely do a butterfly look with how this came out. You'll see towards the end, or at the end when I do my picture, the picture at the end, you could definitely do a butterfly look, especially if you did orange and yellow. taking that beauty blender from earlier, damping it up again to blend out that foundation. And of course, I'm using Maybelline. Maybelline is one of my favorite makeup companies. Even though they're a drugstore brand, they are worth the money that you put into it. It's a staple for me. I use it just as much as I use my double wear from Estee Lauder, especially for more of an everyday wear, because it's buildable and it's full coverage at the same time, if that makes sense. And it lasts 24 hours. Don't ask me why I know that, but yeah, it actually lasts 24 hours. Following the foundation, of course, we're going to highlight the features of our face. We're going to take our concealer from earlier, the LA Girl Pro concealer in medium beige, all over the face, blending that out as much as we can with our concealer brush, and then following that with the pointy end of our beauty blender, making sure that we blend everything into the foundation. We don't want it to be too unnatural looking, because I've seen some girls that had a lot of concealer and I'm like, so we just don't blend no more? But you know, to each his own. We're not at channels of judges. I'm just saying what everybody else be thinking. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. Bye. Of course, everything we do in wet, we have to set in dry. Going in with our setting powder that is by Makeup Revolution. I mixed two of them together in order to get it, because I ran out of my Airspun and I had those on hand. So I kind of been liking the result of that mixture. I put a little bit of the banana powder and their translucent setting powder together to get this, and I really like the results. So I'm going to let that set for a while, put that on along the bridge of my nose, and the next thing we're going to do is contour. Taking a smaller fluffy brush and contouring along the bridge of the nose in order to give a snatched effect to that nose. We want it to appear a little bit smaller. So we're just going along where we put the concealer earlier, right alongside of it, and blend it out. We want it to be noticeable, but not the first thing that we see. Giving myself a little TLC underneath the eyes, going in with that orange shadow from that same palette. Again, if you need a palette that's going to give you versatile uses and versatile looks, that is a palette I highly recommend. It is a great buy. Going in with a tan from that same palette, and we're going to contour. I like doing big circles towards the back of the face or along the hairline, and doing smaller strokes or straight strokes towards the front to give a more natural appearance for contouring. I really recommend doing that, because it gives such a gradient and beautiful natural effect when we snatch the face. And using guidelines like we did when we set the powder down just gives it that much more of an easy thing to do. I know a lot of women have trouble contouring, but that's one of the tips and tricks I use in order for everything to come out the way I normally expect it to, because I'm more of a natural finish or an everyday finish for the face, and whatever I do for the eyes is how I'm feeling for that moment. Going in with Double Wear facial powder in Cashew. putting that a light dust over everything that we've already done to give it more of a natural appearance. Whatever I might have missed with the liquid foundation, I guarantee you that bad boy is something to use to catch every mistake that you have made. It gives a awesome flawless finish, and it is a wet and dry, or wet to dry or dry to wet foundation. You can use it either way. Going in with our highlights, I'm using Juvia's Place Nubian, the Nubian highlight, and I'm also going in with a Tarte highlight. I'm putting the more golden one down first, which is the Juvia's Place Nubian highlight. I'm so sorry. Putting that down first, and I like the more champagne or lighter tone one to go right on top. I know some people feel like it's unnecessary, but I guarantee you it gives the payoff of what I'm looking for, especially for this look. It's something to do. I do it often. I use two highlighters to give me this awesome super highlighted gloss glow, and I have yet to have a regret about doing it. It's, again, if you have never done it, it's something I recommend you doing. It gives this awesome glow. We're going to spray the face to kind of seal in what we've done, also dampen it a little bit more. As you can see, I use that one a lot, taking that same brush, flipping it on the other side, and just patting it lightly on top of what we've done. Going underneath the brows with that same highlight just to add a little bit of more glow, gives a more arched appearance. Of course, after that, we're going to set the brows in place. After all that hard work, we need brows to be exactly where they're supposed to be. Following that, we're going in with our Cils Booster by Lancome. That is a awesome product. If you need to know more about it or would like a video on some of the products that I use, leave that in the comment section below. Following that, we're going to put on our lashes. Most of the time on this channel, I do normally have some type of liner for my eyeshadow looks, but today, because I felt like it was just enough just to have it the way it was, I went in without liner today. And I try to put my lashes as close to the lash line to give a more natural appearance. And the way that I do that is normally I would have a pair of tweezers and kind of set it as close to the lash line as possible. That's why I use the Cils Booster by Lancome, because it protects my lashes when I normally put on falsies, which is all the time. And it just gives a great sense of security for me that I know I'm not ripping my lashes off when I take my falsies off at the end of the day, that my lashes are still there, so I can still protect my eyes from all kind of other dirt and debris. Going in with Sophia from Buxom is a gloss, a very colored gloss. Ended up dropping it. Following that, I'm going in with my mascara to blend my natural lashes in with the falsies, just to make sure that everything is on the up and up. Adding a little hair decoration with the chopsticks just to give the look more completeness to it. But this is pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. I am in love with this look. I love everything about this look. It is super simple, super fun, super flirty. And I put a little bit of concealer in the middle of my lips to give a awesome ombre effect. Thank you so much for staying with me thus far. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Go ahead and do all of that. I have the links in the description box below. Don't forget to let me know, guys, on some of the videos that you want to see, and I will see you babies later. Peace.